A little bit deeper today. Welcome, family. Thank you for joining me for Truth, a scripture study. I'm excited to get it going. Come on in, y'all think. Welcome. Come on in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Family, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know your city, your state, and the country you're watching from. And then what version of the scriptures are you reading with us? Hey, Nelda, welcome back, beloved. Good to see you. Hey, Sunshine. All right. Hey, Ethan. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Donna. Good to see you. Hey, Doris. Welcome. Come on in, family. Y'all ready to get it going? We're about to get into the book of Ma'ashim. We have been reading from the book of Ma'ashim, which is sign name Acts. When I say sign name, that means the name that we're what's the word? Come on, brain. That we're used to using, but it's been corrupted. That's the word. So it's the book of Acts that's how it's read in your Bible, but the corrected name is Ma'ashim. Hey, Bernard. Hey, Yvonne. Hi, Kelsey. Welcome back. More money, Maureen. Good to see you. Thank you for the gifter badge, Nelda. Hey, Bull. Truth Scripture, Dallas, Texas. All right now. Hi, Imani. Welcome. Hi, Andy. Hello, Doris. Hey, the Beeline. Welcome. Come on in, Don McKent, I think. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Come on in, family. So, those of you who are watching on YouTube and Facebook, why you so quiet? Let me know you're watching. Where are you watching from? Good to see all of you. I'm excited to get it going. Hey, Yahusha's name. Homie, welcome. Good to see all of you. Yahuwah, thank you. Xavier, welcome. Come on in. I appreciate you all joining us. We're about to get started with Truth, a scripture study. We're going to go deeper in the book of Ma'ashim, sign name Acts. I'm excited to continue. We will go a little bit deeper today. I can't wait. I haven't read through this yet, so we're going to go in. I think we read through 16 yesterday, right? Was it 15 or 16? I don't think I wrote my notes in here. I was too busy rushing, trying to get off. Oh, and I have an update on the True Scriptures Tanakh. So y'all come on in. Let me know where you're watching from, city, state, and country. South Africa. All right, now Barbados, Yahuwah's daughter. Welcome. Wonderful. Dreadlock, good to see you. Kelsey, thank you for that. How cute. I appreciate it. All right, teacher life. I'm sending you love. Ooh, teachers these days, y'all are going through it. These kids are not the same. I don't know what to say about it. But anyway, so how y'all doing? Many of you who are on, thank you, Red. I appreciate the love and the light and the hug. Thank you. I sent you guys an email last night. Hey, Christopher, and from New Brunswick, Canada. Good to see you, beloved. I sent you all an email yesterday. Did y'all get it? Let me know. If you did not, hey, Reginald, good to see you. Grand Rising. Truth Scriptures will be delivered sometime today. Yes, I know you're excited. So here's what I want you to do, Reginald. When it comes, sit down, get your notebook out that you've been using. I know you've been using your Truth Foundation's notebook, right? Sit down and read through the preface. Get your highlighter out. Highlight the points that stand out for you, things that are definitely new and that are revealing to you. Let me turn the music down. Make sure you read through that preface, okay? If you want, you can also go to my TikTok page, and I've read through it already. You can listen to me read it with you and just go through it. It's a powerful read. Those of you who are just joining us, thank you for the likes. Hey, Wanda, welcome back. We are reading from the Truth Scriptures. This is the first and only translation of our scriptures that goes back to the ancient Paleo-Hebrew scrolls. Hey, Deborah. Yes, you received my email. Yay for the release. Hallelujah. We get to be free, right, Deborah? Glad you got it. So we're reading from the True Scriptures. This is the Bariyt Hadash, sign name New Testament. The Tanakh, the sign name Old Testament, is in the hands of all the people who are right now leaving Sukkot. I hate that I wasn't able to be there, but anyway, it didn't work out for me the way that I'd hoped. But perhaps Yahuwah will make a way for me next year. In any case, this is your first time to relationship with Yahuwah and you're excited to learn more. Hey, Ali, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Baruch Journey, shalom, shalom. Welcome. So anyway, the Tanakh, is it available electronically? Mandel, not yet. They're just getting the printed version done. So very soon we will, hey Terry, welcome. We will be receiving the final version of it. And you guys, it looks like they are going to be extending the campaign, which means that over this time, while they've been digging through it, hey Terry, thank you for that. Shalom, Jamie, welcome back. While they, hallelujah, Christopher, while they were at Sukkot, they've been reading through it just to kind of have the first set of other eyes on it. And they're looking through to make sure that if there's any tweaks that need to be made before they do the final stamp and send it on out. And so they've been scouring through it. They've given the people who are at Sukkot to one more week after they return to continue scouring through it. And then they're going to receive all of the revisions, make all of the changes, and then they're going to release it. So they're going to need a little bit more time, which we are glad to offer, right? Because we want it to be complete. We want it to be inerrant as much as possible. We don't expect perfection because that doesn't exist. There may be more iterations of it. As an author, I understand. Like there are things in my books that I'm like, oh, goodness, let me fix that. But once it's out, it's out. So you want to make sure that it's got everything, all the I's dotted, the commas are not periods, and periods are not commas. So anyway, they've asked us to give them a little bit of grace and extend the campaigns to November 30th. What on earth, TikTok? I'm not sending nobody nowhere. What are you talking about? Sorry, I just got another violation. Oh, Father. Let me breathe. Anyway, these AI. Oh my goodness. Come on back. Okay. It just bothers me because you can't undo it, right? You can't talk to AI and get them to see that this is not, I'm not putting any links anywhere, right? Y'all see any links? I'm not sending you anywhere. I'm telling you to go to my nowhere. I'm saying nothing, just information, right? Am I tripping? Did I miss something? Anyway, I apologize. So they've asked us to allow them a little bit more time to make sure that they incorporate the changes that they identified during Sukkot. And we agree, right? We want that. So what that means for all of us is it gives us more time to, number one, participate in the campaign. So for those of you who are just learning about the fact that you will be able to hold the ancient Paleo Hebrew translation directly to English in your hands and be among the first on the planet to actually know what the word of the Father actually said, it will give you, it will give all of us more time to participate in the campaign to bring it to the world, right? Because it's not for sale yet. It won't be for sale until after everyone has their first copy. So you still get to be among the first to hold it in your hands. And that's an amazing thing. So I'll tell you more about that at the end because they acting all stank up in here. Shalom, Angela. Welcome back. So anyway, Shalom, Mikhail, welcome. Let me see. Oh, that just y'all keep tapping. That helps. At least when you're tapping, it allows more people to come in. So now we got 17 people. Oof, down from 8,000. Anyway, we're going to continue moving forward. I appreciate you guys tapping, liking. Make sure you guys get your orange heart and come back in and get your engagement points. That helps your account. For those of you who are watching on YouTube and on Facebook, please hit that little like button or the little heart love button so that we can at least let more people know that we're on and that we're reading. And perhaps it'll kick the algorithm back in where they'll start to allow more people to know about us being live. This is so ridiculous. Oh, so when I do get the Tanakh, I'm going to show the earth. Oh, okay. All right. Christopher, you do that. Okay, so let's see. Y'all ready, Grand Rising? Tammy. Hi, darling. I think that's Tammy's handle. Tell me if I'm right. I'm trying to remember you guys from your handles and your real names because I've had a chance to meet with some of you and talk to you. It's been beautiful getting to know you, by the way. So let me know that you all received my emails. Hey, Lisa, welcome. Hey, Hugh, welcome. Did you all get an email from me? If you did not get an email from me, make sure you all are on my mailing list for my Truth Bookmarks. Grand Rising, sweet Annie, good to see you. And I'll give you information on how to do that very, very soon. Anyway, so we're reading from the Truth Scriptures. We're in the book of Ma'ashim. You have not gotten an email from me. Check your spam folder or your, what is it called? What's the other folder? Check your promotions folder if you're in Gmail. But if you have received your truth scriptures, your truth bookmarks, then you did get an email from me and you got to go check it out. Got to go check it out. You did receive my email, Shirley. Wonderful. Angela, let me know. Hey, Robert, welcome. You got my email? Good, good, good. Welcome. All right. Let's get it going, family. Let's go ahead and continue reading. For those of you who are new, I invite you to just sit back and let it wash over you. We are reading a version of the scriptures that is going to sound very different. The original names have been restored. So when you're hearing the names, it's going to sound weird. I might struggle through them, but we are going to persevere and learn how to pronounce these ancient Paleo Hebrew names. The reason why it's important to know and understand and pronounce these names is because they all bear witness to the names of the Father and the Son. Right? Many of the names that were changed because they were trying to hide the name of the Father. We've identified that those 4 characters that you guys see at the top there and next to truth on TikTok, those 4 characters are the names together make up the name of our Most High Creator of all that is. We've called him God. We've called him the Lord. Those are not his name. Those are titles. The Father has a personal name, and it's not the Father. It's not the Most High. It's not Source. It's not the Creator. Although we use those names, he has a personal name. Those letters are pronounced Yahuwah. The first letter is a Yod. It's pronounced Y. The second is a Hey. It's pronounced Ah. The third letter is a Ua. It's pronounced Yod, Hey, Ua, Hey. That's how it's pronounced. Ya, Y, Ah, U, Ah. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, Yahuwah. That's how it's pronounced. Shalom, Noel. Welcome back, beloved. Okay. Are they using the Noel? Are they using the vowel point system? If they are, then that is not accurate, beloved. So let me know. If you are studying Hebrew and you're using the vowel pointing system, that system was designed to point you away from the correct pronunciation. That's how we get Yahuwah. Yahusha HaMashiach. That's not the correct pronunciation. Those were the vowel pointing system pointing us away from the correct pronunciation. And they need us to not pronounce it correctly because that keeps us locked out of the power in the name of Yahuwah Mashiach without the k on the end. Okay. So anyway, his name is Yahuwah. Mashiach means it's the sign name for Messiah. All good. All right. Thank you, Noel. She said no vowel points, y'all. All Paleo and Ancient Hebrew. Okay. You think that? Oh, interesting, Mandel. Mandel says, I thank the Jehovah's Witnesses because their Bible made the mistakes glaring and uncomfortable. So I look forward to a genuine, honest translation with the ancient text. Hallelujah. Their Bible is a whole situation. Their whole faith. I just pray for those people. They have genuine hearts. They really are trying to do the right thing, but they are grossly, horribly misled. And I just pray that their eyes are flooded with light. I got approached by a Jehovah's Witness the other day at the gas station, and I happened to have. She was handing me, "Hey, I have a track. I want to give it to you." I was like, "Oh, I have one too. Let me give it to you." And I handed it to her. I was like, we get to know his name. His name is pronounced Yahuwah. She was like, well, we call him Jehovah. I said, but there was no J in the language until 1524. That couldn't have been his name. And he said, we're saved in his name, in the name of Yahuwah Mashiach. She was like, I said, but take it and read it and check your Bible and go to promotethetruth.com and learn. She was like, I'm not going to read it. It's like, oh, you don't want to call him by his name? Okay. Well, at least someone's told you. So it's like offering a stick of gum. If they want it, they'll take it. If they don't, they won't. And there's nothing we can do about it. Right? So here's what I'm going to do. For those of you who are on TikTok, I'm going to well, they're probably going to give me another violation if I do it anyway. I was going to hang up because there's only 23 people. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. Y'all keep tapping. Anyway, we're going to keep reading. Noelle says, I can't wait for my truth scriptures. They should be arriving soon. I can't wait to read along word for word with y'all. Yes. All right. So let's see. What chapter were we on? I think we read through 16, right? Or was it 15? I didn't mark my book yesterday. Where did we start? I think it was 16. Hey, Sawana, thank you. Welcome back. Sawava, I apologize. Sawava Julius. Angela, can you help me out, darling? All right. All right, family. I got a flash goal. I don't know what that means. 14. Hey, Carm, welcome back. I think we passed 14. Ditto. Good to see you. All right. Sweet Annie, thank you. You got my email. Okay, good. Tammy, I'm looking forward to working with you soon, beloved. Let's see. Kirsty, welcome. Yeah, we only read one chapter. That's right. So can you put the notes up there for me? Hang on. All right, family. All right, y'all ready? Let's get it going. All right, Ma'ashim, chapter 16. Sign name Acts. Thank you, Angela. Here we go. We're on page 220 of the Truth Scriptures. And thank you, Terry, for the popular. All right. Then Shaul and Silas went back to Daraba and Lysatra, where there was a certain disciple named Timothy. His mother was a Yahudi who followed the master, but his father was Uni, sign in Greek. Hey, G. Riley, you received it this morning. Congratulations. Oh, my goodness. I'm so excited. Hey, P. Thomas, welcome. So his father was Greek, was Uni. Verse 2, the believers in Lysatra and Iconium had great things to say about Timothy. Shaul wanted to take Timothy with them, but first he thought it was best if Timothy was circumcised. Ooh. He felt it would help with the Yahudim who were in that area because everyone knew that Timothy's father was a Uni who had not allowed him to be circumcised up to that point. As Shaul and the others with him went from city to city, they told all the believers what the emissaries and elders in Jerusalem had decided. They urged all the believers to follow these instructions. Verse 5. The assemblies became stronger in their faith, and each day more and more people put their faith in Yahuwah Mashiach. Shaul and those with him went through the regions of Parigia, and Galat, but the set-apart spirit would not allow them at this time to preach in Asiya. After they arrived in Mysia, they tried to go into Bithynia, but the spirit of Yahuwah Mashiach would not allow them to go. Therefore, they passed through Mysia until they arrived in Taras. During the night, Shaul had a vision of someone standing there begging him, saying, please come to Macedonia and help us. After Shaul had the vision, they began looking for a way to go to Macedonia. They were sure that Yahuwah had called them to preach the Bashura of Yahuwah Mashiach there. We sailed straight from Taras to Shamaharasas. The next day, we continued until we arrived in Napolis. From there, we went to Philippi, which is a Rumai colony city in the first district of Macedonia. We spent several days there. Then on the Shabbat, we went outside the city gate to a place by the river. We thought there was going to be a prayer meeting there. When we got there, we ended up speaking with some women there. One of the women there was a worshiper of Alua named Ludia. She was from the city of Tiatira, and she sold expensive purple cloth. As she listened to Shaul's message, the master opened her heart to embrace what Shaul was saying. Then she and her entire household were immersed. She said to Shaul, now that you believe that I will be faithful to the master, I urge you to please come and stay at my house. She persuaded them to stay. One day, as we were going to the place of prayer, we came upon a servant girl who had a demonic spirit of divination that she used for fortune telling. She made a lot of money for those whom she worked for. She would follow Shaul and shout out, "These men are servants of the Most High Allah and are proclaiming the way of salvation to you." She kept doing this for many days until Shaul finally became annoyed. Shaul turned to her and said to the demonic spirit in her, "I command you in the name of Yahuwah Mashiach to come out of her." At that very moment, the demonic spirit came out of her. When the people whom she worked for realized that their hope of making money from her was gone, they grabbed Shaul and Silas and dragged them before the authorities, who met together in the public square. Sorry, family. Reginald got it. It arrived. Hallelujah. Oh, goodness. All right. Her master said to the town officials, "These men who are Yahudim," go to page 221, Reginald. We're on verse 20. Her master said to the town officials, "These men who are Yahudim are stirring up a lot of trouble in our city. They are telling us to do things that are their customs, which as Rumayim, we are not allowed to do." The crowd joined the attack on Shaul and Silas. Then the officials had their clothes ripped off and ordered them to be beaten with a whip. After they had been badly beaten, they were thrown in jail. The jailer was told to guard them carefully. The jailer did what he was told. He put them deep inside the inner part of the jail and chained their feet to heavy blocks of wood. However, around midnight, Shaul and Silas were praying and singing songs to Yahuwah, and the other prisoners were listening to them. Suddenly, a strong earthquake shook the foundation of the jail. The doors of the prison cells opened, and the chains fell off all the prisoners. When the jailer woke up and saw that all the prison doors were open, he thought that all of the prisoners had escaped. He pulled out his sword and was about to unalive himself. Right away, Shaul shouted with a loud voice and said, "Do not harm yourself. No one has escaped. We are all here." The jailer asked for a torch and went into the jail. He was shaking all over with fear. He came in front of Shaul and Silas and knelt down at their feet. Then the jailer led them out of the jail and he asked them, "Sirs, what must I do to be saved?" Wow. They replied, verse 31, "Believe in the Master Yahuwah Mashiach, and you shall be saved. This is true for everyone who lives in your house." Then Shaul spoke the word of the Master to him and everyone else in his house. While it was still night, the jailer took them to a place where he could wash their cuts and bruises. Then the jailer and everyone in his house were immediately immersed into the name of Yahuwah Mashiach. Wow. They rejoiced that they had put their faith in Allah. After this, the jailer took Shaul and Silas to his house and gave them something to eat. The next morning, the officials sent some officers with orders for the jailer to let Shaul and Silas go. The jailer told Shaul, "The officials have ordered me to set you free. Now you can leave in peace." However, Shaul told the officers, who were also Rumai citizens, and the officials had 37. However, Shaul told the officers, "We are also Rumai citizens, and the officials had us beaten publicly without giving us a trial. They threw us in jail. Now, do they think they can secretly send us away? No, they cannot. They will have to come here themselves and let us out." When the officials told the officials that Shaul and Silas were Rumai citizens, the officials became very afraid. The officials came and apologized to them. They led them out of the jail and asked them to please leave the city. However, Shaul and Silas went straight to the home of Ludia, where they saw the other believers. They encouraged them, and then they left. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, let's see. Shirley said the power they had and used is what I'm looking for mine. I agree. They said that we would be walking in that power. So with the truth being revealed, we will be able to step into something. You think I read chapter 13? That was chapter 16, beloved. We did 15 yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. Let's go on to 17. How y'all doing? We're reading from the Truth Scriptures. This is so crazy. There's only 19 people seeing us. Oh, this is so sad. I'm so sorry, family. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn off TikTok. Y'all just bear with me because I don't want that up there to be the reason why people don't hear this. So y'all sit tight. I'm going to shut it down, and then I'm going to come live again in just a second. Y'all be patient just for me, okay? There's a lot of family members that are missing out, and I don't like that. So I'm going to shut it off. Y'all don't go nowhere. Come right back. All right. Oh, that's not right. Y'all believe that? So crazy. Let me do another one. Let me take this down. So ridiculous. Well, let's see what the numbers look like. Hey, family, come on back. Come on back in. We're about to start chapter 17. Come on back in. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back. Hey, Eliade. Hey, Kelsey. Thanks for coming back. Y'all, when you come back, say I'm back. That'll help the algorithm. Say I'm back. Let me know you're back. Say I'm back. Hey, Richard. Hey, Super Black. Say I'm back, y'all. Hi, Red. Welcome. Hey, John. Hey, Yvonne. Welcome. We're doing a test, y'all. Let's see how many. Are you back? All right. Thank you. Say I'm back. Say I'm back when you come back. Let's see how much it impacts it. Hey, Angela. Hey, John. Hello. Welcome. Let us know you're back, family. Hey, Dorothy. Welcome. Thank you, John. Thank you, Mikhail. Thank y'all for the taps. Hey, Carly. Welcome. Hey, Angela. Hey, Silverado. Just got here. It's all right. Let me know you're back when you come back, family. We're just trying to trick the algorithm into letting folks know again. We're up to 12. This is so crazy. What's crazy is we average between 120 some people, up to 120 consistently and down to maybe 77 consistently. You were upset when I was gone? Come on back. Thank you. Let me know you're back. Say I'm back. Hey, Ruth, welcome back from Orange, Florida. And it's crazy because we barely got to 20 people, and then over the whole live, we generally hit between 2,000 and 8,000 people hitting the page. And for us to only have like 13, 14, that's just wrong. Hey, Mandel, you saw my first video today? Completely new. Not even a regular. All right, Mandel. Well, listen, I want to invite you to just let it wash over you. It's a whole situation that we're in, and we're coming out of a whole lot of deception. And so we get to know the truth. And I'm glad that you were drawn into our space. Thank you. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. All right. I'm glad you're back, Tammy. Y'all, if you're coming back, say I'm back so that we can trick the algorithm. Hey, Sharia, welcome. Come on in, family. Thank you for the roses. Hey, Renald, welcome. Wow. I dropped in my league too. Ooh, Shatani. Happy about what we're doing, but guess what? Better get ready. Better get ready. We're going to continue. We're reading from the Truth Scriptures. Thank y'all for the likes. It helps. Thank y'all for the gifts. It helps. Make sure you get your heart me and then go back in again and claim your engagement points. You guys can press on my face and tap, 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 tap to power share it out. Let me see. I can do it too. Yeah, let's see. Thank y'all for sharing. Thank y'all. Let me just bear with me, family. I don't want anybody to miss out. Especially since y'all don't have the book yet, we get to read it together, and I'm not posting the replays on TikTok. So, all right. Whoops. All right. I'm going to stop now. Thank y'all for your patience. Let's keep going. You back, Robert? All right now. Let me know you're back. Let's see. Let me know you're back. We're up to 24. At least that's more than we had before. Shalom, daughter of Yah. Welcome back. All right, here we go. Chapter 17. We're in the Truth Scriptures. Welcome in, family. Come on in. Me haven't come in yet. Okay. 28. So it's moving. That's a good thing. All right. 17, page 222. Reginald, you on 222? All right. After Shaul and those who were with him had passed through Amapipolis, and Apollonia, they went to Thessalonik. I'm sorry. There was an assembly of the Yahudim there. As it was Shaul's custom, he went there to worship. He spoke to the people there on 3 different Shabbat days, and he reasoned with them from the scriptures. He showed from the scriptures how the Mashiach had to suffer, but that he would be raised back to life from death. Shaul told them that Yahusha is the Mashiach from the scriptures that he was talking about. So now Yahusha is Yahuwah Mashiach. Some of them believed what Yahuwah. So did y'all catch that? That was chapter 17, verse 3. There's yet another witness. 224. Oh, it changed the pages. Oh, goodness. Okay, that's all right. I'm glad you told me. So now going forward, those of you who have the second edition, when I call out the page number, it will help all of us in the study. If you could put second edition, page 224, or whatever the page number is in the comments, so that those of you who have the second edition can stay on page. Will that be helpful for y'all, family? Yeah. Okay. All right. So on verse 3, and I've had so many people ask the question, how do we know that Yahusha is Yahuwah in the flesh? How do we know that? Well, there's so many witnesses. And so when we cross them, I'm going to make point of it so that you guys can see it. And then that'll be a reference that you have for your study notes. All right. Verse 3 at the end, it says, so now Yahusha is Yahuwah Mashiach. That means once he was resurrected, he was no longer Yahusha of Nazareth, but now we call him Yahuwah Mashiach, Yahuwah, our salvation. Some of them believed what Shaul had said, and they joined Shaul and Silas and became followers of Yahuwah Mashiach. This included many devout Goyim and many important women who believed the message about the Mashiach. Now the unbelieving Yahudim there became jealous and got some troublemakers from the marketplace to start a riot in the city. Excuse me. They wanted to drag Shaul and Silas out into the mob, but Shaul and Silas went into the home of Gisun. The mob went to the home of Gisun to look for Shaul and Silas, but they could not find them there. When they could not locate them, they drug Gisun and some of the other believers out into the mob. They took them to the city authorities and shouted, Shaul and Silas have been causing trouble everywhere they go. Now they have come here. This Gisun has welcomed them into his home. All of them are breaking the laws of the emperor by claiming that Yahuwah Mashiach is the king. The officials and the people with them were upset about hearing these things. They made Gisun and the other believers pay bail before letting them go. That same night, the brothers and sisters immediately sent Shaul and Silas to Bariyt. After they arrived there, they went into the assembly of the Yahudim. The Yahudim from Bariyt were more honorable than the unbelieving Yahudim in Thessalonik. The Baruiyaim received the word of Yahuwah Mashiach with great eagerness. They examined the scriptures closely every day to see if the teachings of Shaul and Silas were true. Many of the Yahudim in Baruiya came to believe, as well as a good number of reputable Uni women and many Uni men. Uni is Greek. The unbelieving Yahudim of the Thessalonik heard about Shaul proclaiming the word of Eluah in Baruiya. Therefore, they went to Baruiya and started stirring up trouble, trying to turn the crowds against Shaul and Silas and those with them. The brothers and sisters of Baruiya immediately sent Shaul away to the seacoast, but Silas and Timothy stayed in Baruiya. Those who safely escorted Shaul led him as far as Atuna, and then they returned with instructions for Silas and Timothy to come to Shaul as quickly as they could. While Shaul waited for Silas and Timothy in Atuna, he was deeply displeased to find that the city was full of idols. Verse 17, in the assembly there, he reasoned with the Yahudim and other devout converts. He also shared the message about Mashiach each day in the marketplace to whoever wanted to talk to him. Certain Epicurus and Satui philosophers decided to engage Shaul in a discussion. Some of them would say, "What is this babbler trying to say?" Others said, "He seems to be a proclaimer of foreign alayim." They said this because he was preaching the Bashura, which is the good news of Yahuwah Mashiach and the resurrection. They grabbed him and took him before a council called Areopagus. They said, "Tell us about this new teaching you were speaking of." Verse 20. "We have heard you speaking some strange things, and we want to know exactly what you mean." Now, more than anything else, the people of Atuna and the foreigners living there love to hear new things and philosophies. Shaul stood up in front of the Areopagus council and said, "People of Atuna, I can see that you are very religious. As I was going through your city and looking at the things that you worship, I found an altar with the words, 'To an unknown Eluah.' You feel you are worshiping this Eluah, but you do not really know him. Therefore, I want to tell you about him." We read 15 yesterday, darling. Only one chapter. We are reading, Richard, from the Truth Scriptures. Oh, okay, Wanda. I have to read that. I have to check on it. I haven't heard that one yet. We'll have to go back. We're reading from the Truth Scriptures. Grand Rising D. White here. Good to see you. Chapter 17 of the book of Ma'ashim, sign name Acts. Thank you, Sharia. Thank you for the badges. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nelda, for your heart me. All right. He said, you feel, we're on verse 23, you feel you're worshiping this Eluah, but you do not really know him. Therefore, I want to tell you about him. Was it? Did we miss 14, family? Are you checking it from YouTube, Noel? Maybe I missed it. You're welcome, Richard. If so, we'll read it. We'll go back. But I thought we read 15 yesterday. We only read one chapter, right? You sure that's not that might be so? Somebody tell me. Y'all go double. Well, what do we do? It was a short live, but it was only 13. Okay. I know I only read one chapter yesterday, but I thought it was 15. So y'all, what do I do, Father? Okay, read 14 and we'll go back. All right, we're gonna read 14 then. Let's switch it and go back to 14. I apologize. I sure thought we did. We got all the way up to 15. Thank you, Nelda, for all those badges. Let's see. We only read chapter 13 yesterday. All right, well, look at here. I made a huge mistake. I apologize, family. All right, let's go to 14 and then 15, since we read 16, and then jump back to 17. My apologies. You don't mean to interrupt. I just know where we left off, and I thought you missed something. Thank you. No, I don't mind correction, darling. Let's fix it. That's all we gotta do. All right. No condemnation up in here. That's how we roll. That's how we align. Right? All right. So we're going back to 14, page 217. For Reginald and any of the others who have the new edition, the second edition, you probably are on 219, right, Reginald? Angela, can you fix the heading for me and I'll update it? Chapter 14, page 217. Next, Shaul and Baranaba went and spoke in the assembly at Iconium, just as they had in Antiochia, and many Yahudim and Goim believed their message and put their faith in the master. However, the unbelieving and disobedient Yahudim stirred up other Goim and made them angry. They turned to Shaul and Baranaba and against the followers of the master. Shaul and Baranaba stayed there for a while, having faith in the master and boldly speaking the master's message. Yahuwah gave them power to work signs, wonders, and miracles. People there could see that the message about Alua's undeserved favor, people's undeserved favor. Thank you. People there could see that the message about Alua's undeserved favor was true and available to them. Verse 4 in chapter 14. The people in that city were divided. Some believed the unbelieving Yahudim, while others believed the emissaries. Finally, some Goim and unbelieving Yahudim, together with their leaders, decided to make trouble for Shaul and Baranaba. They plotted to stone them to death. When Shaul and Baranaba found out about the plans to unalive them, they escaped to the region of Lycaonia. They also went to the surrounding cities of Lisarata and Debara. They continued to preach the Bashura there. In Satara, there sat a certain man who had been born with paralyzed feet and who had never been able to walk. The man was listening to Shaul speak when Shaul recognized that the man had faith in Yahuwah Mashiach and could be healed. Shaul began to stare directly at the man. Suddenly, Shaul shouted loudly, "Stand up on your feet." Immediately, the man jumped up and started walking around. When the crowd saw what Shaul had done, they yelled out in the language of Lycaonia, "The Elohim have turned into humans and have come down to us." The people... I'm stuck. I have to pause because that's plural. Right? That's plural. You want to purchase a Truth Scripture? They are back in stock. I'm doing well. Hey, Bernard, welcome back. That's plural. It says the Elohim, and it is lowercase a. It says have, as if that's a plural word, have turned into humans. That's plural and have come down to us. The people then started calling Baranaba Zeus, and they called Shaul Hermes because he was the main speaker. Interesting. The Ahikal of Zeus was near the entrance to the city. Its priests and crowds of people were there, wanted to offer a sacrifice to honor Baranaba and Shaul. The priests brought some bulls and flowers to the city gates. Wow. Verse 14, when the emissaries, Baranaba and Shaul, found out what was going on, they ripped their shirts in anger, ran towards the crowd, and started shouting, "People, why are you doing this? We are humans just like you. Please stop all of this foolishness. We are proclaiming the Bashura to you. Turn to the living Alua. He is the one who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and all that is in them." In the past, he let every nation go on its way, but he has not left himself without a witness. He has favored you by giving you rain from above, as well as bountiful harvests. He has satisfied you with food and happiness. Nevertheless, even with these words, they could barely keep the crowds from sacrificing on behalf of them. Wow. Oh, I'm glad y'all sent us back. Then there came some unbelieving Yahudim from Antiochia and Iconium. They persuaded the crowds and turned them on Shaul and Barnabas. They stoned Shaul and dragged him out of the city. They thought he was dead. However, the master's followers came and stood around Shaul. He got up and went back into the city. The next day, he and Barnabas went to Debarah. Shaul and Barnabas preached the Bashura in Debarah, and they won some people over to the master. Then they returned to Satara, Iconium, and Antiochia. They encouraged the disciples there and urged them to remain faithful. They told them that they must be willing to go through many tribulations in order to enter into the kingdom of Alua. Shaul and Barnabas then chose some leaders for every assembly. They prayed and fasted, asking the master to take care of them who had believed and put their faith in him. Then Shaul and Barnabas passed through Pisidia and arrived at Pamapilia. They preached the word of Alua in Parag. Then they went down to Attalia. From there, they sailed to Antiochia. It was there where they had started. Through the favor of Alua, they fulfilled and completed the initial work that had been entrusted to them. On their arrival, they called the assembly together. They reported everything that Alua had accomplished through their activities and how Alua had opened the door of Goim to put their faith in him. They stayed with the believers for a long time. What you say? Wow. So they started calling Barnabas Zeus and Shaul Hermes. They started worshiping as if they were Greek gods. That is deeper than deep. I don't remember this story. I didn't remember that Zeus actually made it into the book under his real name. I have to go back and read this, but again, wasn't that powerful, family? Happy that I'm sharing the truth to Yasharal. Hallelujah. Shaitan is a lie. My scriptures have out. I hear you, Wanda. Tammy. She said, my scriptures have been out for delivery. They coming, but we're reading in the meantime. And I command them to arrive in the name of Yahuwah Mashiach. Good to see you again, Ron. Welcome. Shalom. Bernard from Trinidad and Tobago. Does it have an app? They're working on the app too. So that's the plan. The app is going to be coming as well. I can't wait for it. It's going to be so cool. Yeah. Hello, Queenie. Okay. Thank you, Ron. All is well. All right. Let's keep going. Okay. Let's go into 15. I'm going to have to make a habit of dotting it so I know where I ended off. Okay. Some people came down from Yahud and were trying to teach the family of believers. Unless you are circumcised according to the customs of Masha, you cannot be saved. This caused a lot of confusion and trouble, and Shaul and Barnabas disagreed with and argued against this teaching. So it was decided to send Shaul as well as Barnabas and a few others to Jerusalem in order to discuss this issue with emissaries and elders. The assembly sent them on their way back to Jerusalem. They passed through Panitzia and Shamarun, witnessing to everyone about the conversion of the Goim. Their reports caused a lot of joy for all the brothers and sisters. When they arrived in Jerusalem, the assemblies, the emissaries, and the elders all welcomed them. They gave a full report. Thank you, Angela. They gave a full report of all the things that Alua had accomplished through their work. Verse 5, Then there came a group of people from the Parashim who believed in the Mashiach, saying, the Goim must be circumcised. They must be required to keep the law of Masha. The emissaries and the elders gathered together to consider the matter. After much discussion, Kappa, signing Peter, stood up and addressed them. He said, brothers and sisters, you know early on, Alua chose me first among us to have the Goim hear the word of the Bashura in order for them to have the opportunity to come to believe it. Alua, who knows the deepest thoughts and desires of the people, confirmed that Alua is indeed available to the Goim because he gave them the set-apart spirit just as he did to us. Alua made no distinction between us and them, but he cleansed their hearts through faith. Why then are you now challenging Alua by placing a burden on these disciples that neither we nor our ancestors have been able to keep? Interesting. On the contrary, hang on. On the contrary, we believe that the Goim and ourselves are saved in the same way by the compassion and favor of our Master Yahuwah Mashiach. The entire crowd of people fell silent as they listened to Barnabas and Shaul describe all the signs and wonders that Alua had done among the Goim through their message. After they had finished speaking, Yaakov said, brothers and sisters, listen to me. Shamaun Kappa has told you how Alua first came to the Goim and made some of them his own people for the sake of his name. This agrees with the words of the prophets as it is written. Verse 16, I, the master, will return and rebuild David's fallen house. I will build it from its ruins and set it up again. I will restore it so that the rest of the nations, even the Goim, will seek me and be my chosen ones who accept my name. Excuse me. There he is, talking about accepting his name. I, the master, say this. I promised it long ago. Therefore, my friends, it is my judgment that we should not place burdens on the Goim who are turning to Alua. We should simply write and tell them not to eat anything that has been offered to idols. They should be told not to eat the meat of any animal that has been strangled or still has its blood in it. Hold on, family. I have a maintenance situation. Be right back. Hi there. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Verse 20. We should simply write and tell them not to eat anything that has been offered to idols. They should be told not to eat the meat of any animal that has been strangled or still has its blood in it. They must not participate in any sexual immorality. After all, the things that remain from the law of Masha are known and have been preached from city to city for generations. And on every Shabbat, it is read in our assemblies. After this, the emissaries, elders, and the entire assembly decided to send some men to Antiochia, along with Shaul and Barnabas. They chose Yehuda, Barshaba, and Silas, who were two leaders among the believers, to go with them. They wrote a letter and said, brothers and sisters, we emissaries and elders send friendly greetings to all of you who are Goim that follow the master in Antiochia, Aram, and Kalaha. We have heard that certain people have upset you by what they have said, but these people were not sent by us and are not part of us. Based on what we heard, we decided to meet together to discuss the matter. After our meeting, we then decided to send some men, along with our beloved Barnabas and Shaul, to you in order to give you our conclusion on the matter. Barnabas and Shaul have risked their lives for our Master Yahuwah Mashiach. We have also sent Yehuda Barshaba and Silas, who will tell you in person the same things we are writing. The set-apart spirit has shown us that we should not place any extra burden on you. However, you should not eat anything offered to idols. You should not eat any meat that still has its blood in it, or any meat of any animal that has been strangled. You must not commit sexual immorality in any form. If you obey the master's commandments and follow these instructions, you will do well. We send you our love. Verse 30. After the meeting concluded, the 4 men left Jerusalem and traveled to Antiochia. When they arrived, they called the assembly together and gave them the letter. Verse 31. When the letter was read, everyone rejoiced and was greatly encouraged. Excuse me. Yehuda, Barshaba, and Silas were prophets, and they spoke for a long time there. They encouraged and helped the master's followers there. Excuse me. All of the men who came from Jerusalem stayed there in Antiochia for a while. When they left to return to the brothers and sisters of Jerusalem who sent them, the believers from Antiochia thanked them and wished them well. However, Shaul and Barnabas decided to remain there. Shaul and Barnabas, along with many other believers, continued teaching and preaching the word of the master in Antiochia. After a good amount of time Shaul said to Barnabas, "Let us go back and visit the believers in the cities where we previously preached the word of the master. Then we will know how they're doing." Barnabas wanted to take Yahuhanan, also known as Maraku, with them. But Shaul did not want to take him with them because he felt Maraku should not have left them while they were working in Pamphylia. Shaul and Barnabas could not come to an agreement on the matter, so they decided to split up and work in different areas. Barnabas took Maraku with him, and they sailed to Kapar. Shaul took Silas with him, and they left after the followers of Antiochia prayed that the master's favor would be with them on their journey. They traveled to Aram and Kalaha, encouraging the assemblies. We good? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You have a great day. Try to stay dry. Yes. Shirley said the instruction was very clear, right? Yes, we were reading from 15. You're right. Hey, honey, welcome in. Woo! All right. Okay, so since we read through 16 and half of 17, I'll let you guys tell me where you want me to go. You want me to just pick up where we left off in 17 at verse 23 and keep going? Or do you want me to reread 16? Y'all tell me. If you want me to reread 16, put 16 in the comments. If you want me to pick up where we left off in 17, put 17 in the comments. And I will continue. Marina said reread. D. Whitehead says 16. What do y'all think? 16? 16? Whatever you feel is best. 17, Christopher said. Okay. Going. Okay. Hey, Truth Hurts. Looks like we're rereading. Let's go. Chapter 16. Carm says 16. All right. Okay. Let's see. Help me out, Angela. Roll with the flow. All right, Reginald. We're going to 16, page 220. For those of you with the second edition, I think it's 222. All right. Then Shaul and Silas went back to Debarah and Satara, where there was a certain disciple named Timothy. His mother was a Yahudi who followed the master, but his father was a Uni, sign named Greek. The believers in Satara and Iconium had great things to say about Timothy. Shaul wanted to take Timothy with them, but first he thought it was best if Timothy was circumcised. He felt it would help with the Yahudim who were in that area, because everyone knew that Timothy's father was a Uni who had not allowed him to be circumcised up to that point. As Shaul and the others with him went from city to city, they told all the believers what the emissaries and elders in Jerusalem had decided. They urged all believers to follow these instructions. The assemblies became stronger in their faith, and each day more and more people put their faith in Yahuwah Mashiach. Shaul and those with him went through the regions of Parigia, and Galat, but the set-apart spirit would not allow them at this time to preach in Asiya. After they arrived in Mysia, they tried to go into Bithynia, but the spirit of Yahuwah Mashiach would not allow them to go. Therefore, they passed through Mysia until they arrived in Taras. During the night, Shaul had a vision of someone standing there begging him, saying, "Please come to Macedonia and help us." After Shaul had the vision, they began looking for a way to go to Macedonia. They were sure that Yahuwah had called them to preach the Bashura of Yahuwah Mashiach there. We sailed straight from Taras to Shamaharasas. The next day we continued until we arrived in Napolis, verse 12. From there we went to Philippi, which is a Rumai colony city in the first district of Macedonia. We spent several days there. Then on the Shabbat, we went outside the city gate to a place by the river. We thought there was going to be a prayer meeting there. When we got there, we ended up speaking with some women there. One of the women there was a worshiper of Alua named Ludia. She was from the city of Thyatira, and she sold expensive purple cloth. As she listened to Shaul's message, the master opened her heart to embrace what Shaul was saying. Verse 15. Then she and her entire household were immersed. She said to Shaul, "Now that you believe that I will be faithful to the master, I urge you to please come and stay at my house." She persuaded them to stay. One day, as we were going to the place of prayer, we came upon a servant girl who had a demonic spirit of divination that she used for fortune telling. She made a lot of money for those whom she worked for. She would follow Shaul and shout out, "These men are servants of the Most High Alua and are proclaiming the way of salvation to you." She kept doing this for many days until Shaul finally became annoyed. Shaul turned to her and said to the demonic spirit in her, "I command you in the name of Yahuwah Mashiach to come out of her." At that very moment, the demonic spirit came out of her. When the people whom she worked for realized that their hope of making money from her was gone, they grabbed Shaul and Silas and dragged them before the authorities, who met together in the public square. Her masters said to the town officials, "These men who are Yahudim are stirring up a lot of trouble in our city." Shalom, Kayenle, welcome back. They're stirring up a lot of trouble in our city. Verse 21. They're telling us to do things that are their customs, which as Rumaim, we are not allowed to do. The crowds joined the attack on Shaul and Silas. Then the officials had their clothes ripped off and ordered them to be beaten with a whip. After they had been badly beaten, they were thrown in jail. The jailer was told to guard them carefully. The jailer did what he was told. He put them deep inside the inner part of the jail and chained their feet to heavy blocks of wood. However, around midnight, Shaul and Silas were praying and singing songs to Yahuwah, and the other prisoners were listening to them. Suddenly, a strong earthquake shook the foundation of the jail. The doors of the prison cells opened, and the chains fell off all the prisoners. When the jailer woke up and saw that all of the prison doors were open, he thought that all of the prisoners had escaped. He pulled out his sword and was about to unalive himself. Excuse me, family. Verse 28. Right away, Shaul shouted with a loud voice and said, "Do not harm yourself. No one has escaped. We are all here." The jailer asked for a torch and went into the jail. He was shaking all over with fear. He came in front of Shaul and Silas and knelt down at their feet. Then the jailer led them out of the jail, and he asked them, "Sirs, "What must I do to be saved?" They replied, "Believe in the Master, Yahuwah Mashiach, and you shall be saved. This is true for everyone who lives in your house." Then Shaul spoke the word of the Master to him and everyone else in his house. While it was still night, the jailer took them to a place where he could wash their cuts and bruises. Then the jailer and everyone in his house were immediately immersed into the name of Yahuwah Mashiach. They rejoiced that they had put their faith in Allah. After this, the jailer took Shaul and Silas to his house and gave them something to eat. The next morning, the officials sent some officers with orders for the jailer to let Shaul and Silas go. The jailer told Shaul, "The officials have ordered me to set you free. Now you can leave in peace." Sorry, family. Y'all back? Oh, no. I'm sorry, Nelda. I don't know why. Am I going in and out for you, all of you, or just Nelda? Y'all keep tapping. I appreciate that. Back now? All right. The phone rings. If I ever freeze, it's because the phone rings. I apologize. Okay. So, however, verse 37, page 222 or 224. However, Shaul told the officers, "We are also Rumai citizens, and the officials had us beaten publicly without giving us a trial. They threw us in jail. Now, do they think they can secretly send us away? No, they cannot. They will have to come here themselves to let us out." When the officers told the officials that Shaul and Silas were Rumai citizens, the officials became very afraid. The officials came and apologized to them. They led them out of the jail and asked them to please leave the city. However, Shaul and Silas went straight to the home of Ludia, where they saw the other believers. They encouraged them, and then they left. I'm sorry, Anna. She said I keep breaking. It blinked and repeated a few short glimpses. Okay. It might have been because the phone call came through. Yeah. So Anna, welcome. I'm reading from the Truth Scriptures, the only translation of our scriptures that goes back to the ancient Paleo-Hebrew language and translates it right back to English so that we actually know what the original words of the Father were, so that we bypass all the king's nonsense, all the deceptions, all the lies upon lies. And what did I say? I don't remember. Anyway, I'm good now. All right. Hey, Marina, welcome. All right. We're going into chapter 17 again. Let me scroll up. I think I have it up here somewhere. Thank y'all for y'all patience. Page 222 or 224. After Shaul and those who were with him had passed through Amapi police, and Apollonia, they went to Thessalonik. There was an assembly of the Yahudim there. Verse 2. As it was Shaul's custom, he went there to worship. He spoke to the people there on 3 different Shabbat days, and he reasoned with them from the scriptures. He showed from the scriptures how the Mashiach had to suffer, but that he would be raised back to life from death. Shaul told them that Yahusha is the Mashiach from the scriptures that he was talking about. So now Yahusha is Yahuwah Mashiach. Some of them believed what Shaul had said, and they joined Shaul and Silas and became followers of Yahuwah Mashiach. This included many devout Goyim and many important women who believed the message about the Mashiach. Verse 5. Now the unbelieving Yahudim there became jealous and got some troublemakers from the marketplace to start a riot in the city. They wanted to drag Shaul and Silas out into the mob, but Shaul and Silas went into the home of Giyi's son. The mob went to the home of Giyi's son to look for Shaul and Silas, but they could not find them there. When they could not locate them, they dragged Giyi's son and some of the other believers out into the mob. They took them to the city authorities and shouted, "Shaul and Silas have been causing trouble everywhere they go. Now they have come here." This Gi Sun has welcomed them into his home. All of them are breaking the laws of the emperor by claiming that Yahuwah Mashiach is the king. The officials and the people with them there were upset about hearing these things. They made Gi Sun and the other believers pay bail before letting them go. That same night, the brothers and sisters immediately sent Shaul and Silas to Beruia. After they arrived there, they went into the assembly of the Yahudim. The Yahudim from Beruia were more honorable than the unbelieving Yahudim in Thessalonica. The Baruiyaim received the word of Yahuwah Mashiach with great eagerness. They examined the scriptures closely every day to see if the teachings of Shaul and Silas were true. Many of the Yahudim in Baruia came to believe, as well as a good number of reputable Uni women and many Uni men. The unbelieving Yahudim of Thessalonica heard about Shaul's proclaiming the word of Alua in Baruia. Therefore, they went to Baruia and started stirring up trouble, trying to turn the crowds against Shaul, Silas, and those with them. The brothers and sisters from Baruia immediately sent Shaul away to the seacoast, but Silas and Timothy stayed in Baruia. Those who safely escorted Shaul led him as far as Atuna, and then they returned with instructions for Silas and Timothy to come to Shaul as quickly as they could. Verse 16, while Shaul waited for Silas and Timothy in Atuna, he was deeply displeased to find that the city was full of idols. In the assembly there, he reasoned with the Yahudim and other devout converts. He also shared the message about the Mashiach each day in the marketplace to whoever wanted to talk. To him. Verse 18. Certain Epicurus and Satui, Epicurus and Satui philosophers decided to engage Shaul in a discussion. Some of them would say, "What is this babbler trying to say?" Others said, "He seems to be a proclaimer of foreign Elohim." They said this because he was preaching the Bashura, which is the good news of Yahuwah Mashiach and the resurrection. They grabbed him and took him before a council called the Araupagus. They said, "Tell us about this new teaching you are speaking of. We've heard you speaking some strange things, and we want to know exactly what you mean." Now, more than anything else, the people of Atuna and the foreigners living there love to hear new things and philosophies. Shaul stood up in front of the Araupagus council and said, "People of Atuna, I can see that you are very religious. As I was going through your city and looking at the things you worship, I found an altar with the words, 'To an unknown Alua.' You feel you are worshiping this Alua, but you do not really know him. Therefore, I want to tell you about him. This Alua made the world and everything that's in it. He is the master of heaven and earth. He does not live in Ahikals, sign-named temples made by human hands. He does not need help from anyone. He gives life, breath, and everything else to all people. From one person, this Alua made all the nations of people who live on earth, and he decided when and where every nation would be. This Alua has done all of this so that we would look for him, reach out to him, and then find him. He is not far from any of us. He gives us the power to live, to move, and to be who we are. Just as some of your poets have said, we are his children. Since we are the children of Alua, we must not think that he is like an idol that is made out of gold, silver, or stone. He's not like anything that humans have ever thought up and made. In the past, Alua overlooked all of this because of the ignorance of not knowing any better. But now he commands everyone everywhere to repent and turn to him. Verse 31, he has appointed a day in which he will judge the world in fairness and righteousness. And he appointed someone from heaven who came to earth as a man who was called Yahusha of Nazareth, to do the judging for him. This Alua has given us proof of this by raising his Yahusha from the dead and making him Yahuwah Mashiach. As soon as they heard Shaul speak about the resurrection of the dead, some of them laughed and mocked him, but others of them said, "We will hear you speak more on this some other time." After that, Shaul left the council meeting. Now, after hearing what Shaul had spoken, some of the men there put their faith in the master Yahuwah Mashiach and went with Shaul. One of them was a member of the Areopagus council named Dionysius. Also, a woman named Damaris, and several others also put their faith in the master Yahuwah Mashiach. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Hey, Carmetta. Hey, Nicole. Woo! What y'all think? Thank you, Wanda, for sharing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let me take a sip. I love hearing him talk about Yahuwah. I love the way he describes who Yahuwah is. It's like, let me explain who he is. Good reading, right? Nailed it. All right. Yahuwah. Pulling my wig back. Surely not the wig. Did it fall off? Did your hair get blown back? Woo! All right. Chapter 18. Shaul left Atuna and went to Karanat. In Karanat, he met a certain Yahudi named Kalal from Punatas. Not long before this, Kalal had come from Ayi Talia with his wife, Pari Saka, and because Emperor Claudius had ordered all the Yahudim to leave Rum. He kicked them out, huh? Shaul went to see Kalal and Parisaka. Shaul found out they were tent makers. Shaul also happened to be a tent maker, so he stayed with them and they worked together. Thank you, Angela. Every Shabbat, Shaul went to the assembly of the Yahudim. He spoke to the Yahudim and the converted Yahudim who were there. He tried to reason with them and win them over. After Silas and Timothy arrived from Macedonia, Shaul spent all of his time preaching and testifying to the Yahudim there. He taught that Yahusha was Yahuwah Mashiach. There it is again. This is just several witnesses for us to be able to remind the family when, as people who come in to the fold and don't believe that Yahusha is Yahuwah, all these witnesses. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, verse 6. Finally, the unbelieving Yahudim there turned on Shaul and began to insult him. Therefore, Shaul shook the dust off his clothes and said to them, "Your blood is on your own heads. Whatever happens to you will be your own fault. I am clean. From now on, I will preach to the Goyim." Interesting. He left the assembly there and went next door to a house belonging to a man named Titius Eusatus, a Goy who worshipped Alua. Now, Charisapus happened to be the assembly leader of the Yahudim at that time. His entire household came to believe in the Master Yahuwah Mashiach. Then many of the Karanatim came to believe in the Master Yahuwah Mashiach and were immersed. One night, Shaul had a vision. In the vision, the Master said, "Do not be afraid. Continue preaching. Do not be silent. I am with you, and no one who attacks you here will hurt you because I have many people who follow me in this city." Shaul stayed there for 1 year and 6 months, teaching the word of Alua among them. Now, when Galiu was the governor of Ahiya, The unbelieving Yahudim came together to oppose Shaul, and they brought him before the court. They said, "This man is persuading others to worship Alua unlawfully." Just as Shaul was about to speak, Galilee said to the unbelieving Yahudim, "If there has been some sort of injury or criminal behavior, I would have reason to accept your complaint. However, since your issues with him are about writings, names, and your own law, you need to deal with this yourself. I have no desire to judge such matters." Then he had them removed from the court. Then the crowd that had come there grabbed Susatanas, the new leader of the assembly, and gave him a beating in the presence of the governor. But none of this fazed Galilee. After Shaul stayed in Karanat for a while, he felt it was time to move on. So he said his goodbyes. He prepared to travel to Aram with Parisaka and Kalal. However, before he left, he shaved his head at Kanatsaria, a port near Karanat, because he had made a vow to Alua. Then the three of them left and arrived in Apasi. Shaul left Parisaka and Kalal, and he went to the assembly to reason with the Yahudim. They asked him to stay longer, but he decided to leave. He told them goodbye and said, "If it is Alua's will, I will come back." Then he set sail and left Apasi. He arrived in Caesarea. From there, he went to Jerusalem and greeted the assembly of believers. Then he traveled on to Antiochia. After spending some time there, he traveled from place to place in the region of Galat and the district of Parigia. He was able to help strengthen all the disciples in those areas. Meanwhile, a certain Yahudi named Palal from Alexandria came to Apasi. He was an eloquent man, and he was knowledgeable in the scriptures. He had been instructed in the Darak Adun, also known as the way of the master, and spoke as one who was inspired by the Spirit. He spoke and taught accurately the things about Yahuwah Mashiach, even though he was only aware of the immersion taught by Yahuhanan the immerser. He began speaking with boldness in the assembly. When Parisaka and Kalal heard him speak, they took him in and they explained the ways of Alua more accurately to him. When he wanted to travel to Ahia, the brothers and sisters encouraged him. They wrote a letter to the disciples to open their homes to him. Once he arrived, he was a great help to those who had come to believe in the Master through the favor of Alua. Palal would vigorously defeat the unbelieving Yahudim's arguments in public debates, using the scriptures to prove that Yahuwah was Yahuwah Mashiach. There it is again. Whoo, family. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me see how long chapter 19 is. I think we'll read through that and stop at 20. I'm doing good, but it didn't say that in the King James. Ooh, what did it say? What was missing? Interesting. I find it very intriguing what they choose to change. It highlights what's powerful about what we're reading, who he really was, who the Father really was. That part right there. That part right there. They always change that part. It's the identity that they take out. They don't want us to know the clarity in the fact that Yahusha is Yahuwah in the flesh. Seems like they didn't start calling him Yahuwah until after his ascension, right? Before they called him Yahusha. That's right. Once he ascended, he became called Yahuwah Mashiach. Yahuwah, our salvation, right? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Y'all ready to continue? One more. We're going to get through this and then we'll end it up at chapter 20 and we'll start there tomorrow. All right, we're reading from the Truth Scriptures. Those of you who are new here, you're right. Yeah. We're reading from the Truth Scriptures. Hey, Black Adam, welcome back. Page 226, we're in the book of Ma'ashim, sign named Acts, chapter 19. Excuse me again. I apologize, family. I had something came up in my brain, and I'm resisting sharing it because it's funny, and I want to wait till we're done with the reading. You're welcome, Mike. Sounds go. Okay, sounds good. I got you, Reginald. While Palau was in Karanat, Shaul passed through the upper country and came to Apasi. He found some disciples there. He asked them, "Did you receive the set-apart spirit when you came to believe?" They replied, "No, we have not even heard that there is a set-apart spirit." Then Shaul said, "Then what immersion did you receive?" They answered, Yahuhanan's immersion. Shaul then explained, Yahuhanan's immersion was for repentance in order to receive forgiveness of your sins. But Yahuhanan told people to believe in the one who came after him, and that is Yahuwah Mashiach. After they heard this, they were immersed into the name of Yahuwah Mashiach. When Shaul placed his hands on them, the set-apart spirit entered them. They began to speak in foreign languages and prophesy. There were about 12 men in this group. For 3 months, Shaul would go into the assembly of the Yahudim and speak boldly about the kingdom of Alua. He worked hard to win them over. However, some of them were stubborn and refused to believe. In front of everyone, they insulted the Darak Adun, also known as the Way of the Master. Shaul left and took the believers with him. They went to the school of Tyrannus, and Shaul spoke there every day. This continued for 2 years until all the Yahudim and Goim in Asiya heard the word of the Master. Yahuwah gave Shaul the power to work great miracles. People would even take their handkerchiefs and aprons that had touched Shaul's body, and they would carry them to everyone who was sick. All who were sick were healed, and evil spirits would be cast out of their bodies. There's another miracle, family. We've been keeping track, right? We've been looking at all of the different signs and wonders that the emissaries were able to walk in as a result of Yahusha telling us when he was alive that they would do greater works. And this is one of them. So verse 12 says, people would take their handkerchiefs and aprons that had touched Shaul's body, and they would carry them to everyone who was sick. All who were sick were healed, and evil spirits would be cast out of their bodies. Whoa. A handkerchief. Some of the unbelieving Yahudim began attempting to cast out evil spirits by using the name of the Master, Yahuwah Mashiach. They would say, "Come out in the same name of Yahuwah Mashiach, whom Shaul preaches about." There were 7 sons of a Yahudi high priest named Sakabah who were doing this. Suddenly an evil spirit answered them, saying, "I know Yahuwah Mashiach, and I know Shaul, but who are you?" The man with the evil spirit jumped on them and severely beat them. They ran out of the house naked and badly bruised. It reads differently in this one, right? I remember this story. When the Yahudim and Goim and Apasi had heard this, they were so frightened that they began to praise the name of the Master, Yahuwah Mashiach. Many of them who were coming to the faith started confessing their past sins. This included a number of them who had been practicing sorcery. They collected their sorcery books and burned them publicly. The value of those materials that they burned was calculated to be worth about 50,000 silver coins, which at that time would be someone's wages if they worked for 165 years. Verse 20, the Master's message spread rapidly and became even more powerful. After all of this happened, Shaul decided to visit Macedania and Achaia on his way to Jerusalem. Shaul has said, "From there I will go to Rome." So he sent Timuti and Arasatas, his two helpers, to Macedonia, but he decided to stay in Asia for a while. Then trouble began to escalate because of the teachings of the master's way. A certain silversmith whose name was Demetarius made silver shrines of the Ahikal of the pagan Allahim Artemis. Hang on, family. Demetarius brought together everyone who was in the same business. He said to them, "Friends, you know we made a good hang on, let me read the whole thing. 25. Demetarius brought together everyone who was in the same business. He said to them, "Friends, you know we make a good living doing what we do. Surely you have seen and heard how this man Shaul is upsetting a lot of people, not only in Apasi, but almost everywhere through Asiya. He claims that the Allahim that we are making, he claims that the Allahim that we are making are not really Allahim at all. If this continues, everyone will start saying terrible things about our business. They will stop respecting the Ahikal of Artemis, which is worshipped in Asiya and all over the world. Our great Allahim, Artemis, will be forgotten." What you say? Hold on, family. Wow. When they heard this, hold on. Verse 28, when they heard this, they became very angry and started shouting, "Great is Artemis, the Allahim of the Apasiyim." Soon the entire city was in a riot, and some of the men there seized Gaius and Aristarchus, who had come from Macedonia with Shaul. Then everyone in the crowd rushed to the place where the town meetings were held. Shaul wanted to go out and speak to the people, but the brothers and sisters in the master would not let him go. Also, a few of the local officials from there who were friends with Shaul sent someone to warn him not to go. Some of the people from the crowd were shouting one thing, and others were shouting something else. Everyone there was completely confused, and most of them did not even know why they were there. Some of the unbelieving Yahudim pushed a man named Alakasanadar to the front of the crowd. They started telling him what to say. He motioned his hand and tried to explain what was going on. However, the crowd noticed he was a Yahudi, so they ignored him and started shouting for 2 hours. "Great is Artemis, the Allahim of the Apasiyim." Finally, a city official got the crowd to quiet down. Then he said, "People of Apasi, what person in the world does not know that our city is the center for worshiping the great Allahim Artemis? Who does not know that her image fell from heaven and is right here? No one can deny this, so you should calm down and not do anything foolish. You have brought these men here who have not robbed our Ahikals or spoken against our Allahim. If Demetarius and other craftsmen with him have a matter against these men, we have courts and judges for that. Let them take their complaints there. However, if you're looking to do more than that, then the matter will have to be brought before the city council. We are in danger of easily being accused of starting a riot here today. There's no excuse for what's going on. We cannot even give a reason for this uproar." After saying this, he told the people to leave. Wow. What are we doing with that? What are we doing with that? They want to worship their Greek God. And here it is. He's talking about the Yahuwah Mashiach. And they're like, y'all know we worshiping this other Greek God. Isn't that deep? Sister, you're speaking a powerful language today. I'm proud of you. Hallelujah, D. Whitehead. All praises and all esteem to Yahuwah. Hallelujah. You're very welcome, Mike. You're very welcome. Wow. Wow. Doesn't it give you more context to what was really happening in that time? All they're doing is talking about Yahuwah Mashiach. People are in an uproar. Everything's in a bunch. Everything's in a bunch. Oh my goodness. Folks getting beat in the streets. Can you imagine? Wow. This was good. This was good. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, so that concludes today's reading. We got up to 38, which is so crazy. So crazy, ridiculous. But who was supposed to be here was here. It's the same today with the old KJV, right? Robert said. Right, we're trying to talk about Yahuwah Mashiach, and they want to. I have all kinds of crazy stuff coming to me in my DMs and comments on my posts and stuff. I now don't even. I'm not moved by it. It used to bother me, like, how dare you think I'm just trying to, now whatever. At least you've been told. You deal with it however you need to deal with it. Take it up with the Big Daddy. So anyway, oh my goodness. So I'm so grateful for this word. I'm so grateful that we get to know what the truth is and we get to understand. So right here, let me just bring this piece up in this reading. So here's the thing. So Noel makes a good point, and I'm not teaching this. I'm just going to give a reflection that I came to that helped me understand. She's asking, so it's okay to say Zeus and all the other names, but not God or JC. I'm just wondering why those words are spelled out, but the others aren't. That was a little confusing. For me, it was too, and the understanding that I came to, and y'all go to the Father for your understanding. We studying this out together, and I'm just giving clarity on how it's came up for me, especially because I'm reading it and I'm talking it and sharing with you guys. So I'm like, Father, I gotta say these names. What are we doing? He was saying to me that I lifted those names in worship. I never lifted the name of Zeus as my God. I never reverenced that name as if he was my mighty one or my holy one. So there's no connection there to any kind of idolatry. But the name God, I certainly lifted that name. The name JC, I certainly lifted that name, and I praised that name, and I prayed in that name, and I worshiped that name, and I did all the stuff in that name that I'm never going to do again. And so saying that name is lifting that name for me because it was a mighty one in my life for me. I'm recognizing too, in addition to that, right? 165 years worth of wages, that's a whole lot. I'm also referencing and recognizing that the battle between the GODs was happening right here, right? This is where the Greeks were trying to elevate their mighty ones above Yahuwah. All they were doing was sharing what had happened. They were just talking about what happened to Yahusha of Nazareth, who became Yahuwah Mashiach, who was raised from the dead, who walked and did all these amazing things and saved us and all the stuff. Ooh, D. Whitehead said because LORD, GOD, and JC are not mentioned in the truth scriptures. Interesting. But yeah, this is where the battle was. And in the KJV and the other derivatives, the Greeks won. And they hushed the name of Yahuwah Mashiach, right? We didn't know it. I had never heard it. till last year, I'd never heard it. I'd never heard the name. I had seen the name there. The characters is gone. Sorry, Al. But I had seen it, but I hadn't. Hold on, family. I had never heard that. Whoop, here we go. I had never heard the name before, ever. So interesting. Oh my goodness. I want to tell y'all what made me laugh. Oh, Yahuwah knew that when we called on him, we were referring to our Father in heaven. Hallelujah, Bashira. That's right. That's right. That's right. So anyway, can I tell y'all something that was funny that made me laugh? And I hope you don't see this or feel this in any kind of disrespectful way. This just made me giggle. As I'm struggling to say some of these names, I started thinking about, and those of you who are in the melanated community, you can laugh with me on this one. I started thinking, I wonder if part of the reason, and this is just a joke, please don't take it in any offense. I wonder if part of the reason why, well, how do I say this? As I was listening to the names, and I'm saying these names, I started thinking about our people and how we make up some names for folks. And some of the kids' names, there's a little girl named Tasha Lanique. There's a sister named Thunthala, and there's a little girl named, just all these names, right? And so when I was reading these names, I was like, well, shoot, that's a cultural thing that started in biblical times. We didn't just create those names now. Those have been around. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further. But that just made me laugh. Every time I struggle with these names, I thought, this is biblical. How we add all these extra syllables onto some of these names. More than 2 syllables, we quit. Right, Wanda? Oh my goodness. Shashantanique. Anyway, well, I'm grateful that you all stayed here and enjoyed this reading with me. They're telling us, right. That's how we know those are our ancestors. Noel. Right. That was what I was thinking too. That was what I was thinking too. Yeah. D. Whitehead said they're telling us what Zeus was doing. Maintaining his reign, and he immortalized himself in our prayers and in our worship. Yeah. Shirley said, I feel you. I'm sorry for that. If I went to a place we didn't, anyway, like the stuff things. So, like the stuff things, you want to talk about that? So let me just talk about that real quick. Those of you who got an email from me yesterday, if you did not get an email from me and you are you did receive the truth bookmarks. Reginald said I have 6. Wait a second. I'm sorry. He said I have 6 great grands and I can't pronounce their names. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Oh my goodness, Reginald, that's funny. I'm so sorry. We're gonna get to learn how to pronounce your grands' names, and we're gonna learn how to pronounce the names in these scriptures. We get to speak it, and I'm grateful for the Promote the Truth community. They're gonna teach us how to. You gave. He said he gave them nicknames. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I needed that laugh. Oh, I'm so grateful for the Promote the Truth community. They're going to teach us how to pronounce these names correctly, and we're going to read it and get it right. We're going to tighten it up as we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Reginald, that was funny. So so yes, I did I did send you all an email yesterday. If those of you who did not You did better than we would have done. Oh, funny. Oh, now I'm hot. Thank you, Reginald. Oh boy. Let's see. So I sent you all an email yesterday, and let me get serious again because this is really serious. And I want to share something with you. You know, over the last few weeks and months, Yahoo has been bringing me back to my center. He's been bringing me back to my start. And and in the very beginning of my journey with the Father, okay, stop it. Wanda said, "Hey, little boy." Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Little girl was a comment back in the day. Who, my people. Okay, let me come back. So when I first started my journey with the Father, it was born out of pain, honestly. You back? It was born out of pain. It was born out of physical pain, emotional pain, relational pain, financial pain. I was just in the throes of the darkest season in my whole life. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to heal. And I didn't even know that I needed to heal. I just knew that my body was breaking down. And so Yahuwah finally, right, Yahuwah finally started talking to me. I shared this with you guys a while back. He just out of the blue, I didn't know he could talk to us. I didn't know that was even a possibility. I had been in the church all my life, but and had gone to many different types of churches, but none of them ever felt like it was right. Like it never felt like I was really learning anything. I don't remember any. I remember one sermon and it was titled, "Give God Your Beeper Number." Ugh. That's the only sermon I ever remembered. And it was ridiculous because I'm thinking, doesn't the Father know how to reach me? Do I need him to have my beeper? And yes, I'm that old. We used to carry beepers in the day. But for those of you who don't know what a beeper is, in the name. In any case, I was in so much pain that when he started talking to me, he led me on a heart healing journey that ultimately helped me to walk in healing, restoration. It helped me to be able to document that journey. And I wrote it all in my first book. You're watching from Alabama? Welcome. I documented it in my first book called The Self-Love Lessons, 7 lessons every woman must learn about herself and the power of womanhood. And in it, the Father taught me how to love me his way. He showed me that we don't love his way. We don't even know that kind of love lives and exists. And so I had to unlearn the way that I was doing relationship with me and with him. And the scripture that he took me to was in Mattathiyahu 22, 36 through 40. We can go there real quick. It's where that lawyer was asking him what's the greatest command in all the law. Mattathiyahu 22, 36 through 40. Excuse me. We're on page 60 or 62. And it said, he asked, I'm going to read from 36. We'll read from 35. One of them was a lawyer, and he tried to test Yahusha by asking him a question. He asked, "Teacher, what is the greatest commandment in the law?" Yahusha replied, "You shall love the master, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. The second is like it when it says, you shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. All the law of Moshe and the books of the prophets are based and hang on these 2 commandments." And so he took me to that passage. And as I read it and I kept studying it out, and I went word by word and just trying to decipher exactly the meaning, going into the concordance and defining each of those words and pulling them all the way out so that I had a clear understanding of what it meant. And I realized that there's 3 different commands in that. He's saying that you should love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart, soul, and mind. And then he's saying that you should love your neighbor. But then the only way you can know how to love your neighbor is first to know how to love yourself, and then love yourself in the manner, or love your neighbor in the same manner that you're loving yourself. But if you don't know how to love Yahuwah, then you're not going to know how to love yourself. Then you're not going to know how to love your neighbor. And so love was the core there. How do I love? And how do I love me in loving him? How do I love me in loving my neighbor? How do I love? How do I do that? And so he started to show me what that looked like. And and it was a process. It was a journey. And in doing that, I was ultimately told years before that I would never be a natural mom. At the age of 34, they said that I needed to consider adoption. And then Yahuwah walked me through my healing. And by the age of 40, when I turned 41, it took me 11 years to write my book. Sorry, family, I had a call come through. I'm back. It took me 11 years to walk through the first stage of that. And I documented it in my book. I documented it in my book. And some of the things that he taught me, well, I published my book in 2011, my first one in 2011. And then I apologize, Wanda. I'm back. Can y'all see me? So I published my book in 2011. And then after that, I participated in the creation of a world-renowned Bible school. I was the IT director and helped them to build that school. And now I look back and I'm just hoping that doing these lives, some of them that were part of that will see and know the name of Yahuwah, because I was a part of helping them not or go in the wrong direction. So that weighs heavily on my heart. Anyway, after that, I had my first miracle baby at 43 and my second one as I was turning 46. And so then I went through, and I'm still in the throes of a divorce. I left my home and life in Georgia and came home to California. And my girls and I are single mom in it. Through the journey of having learned those lessons, the first go round when I published my book, then having to go through the heartache and heartbreak that is involved in dissolving a 30-year relationship and changing your life and uprooting everything, my heart broke again, right? It's just, there was so much that, and there still is so much that I'm carrying that I get to forgive. I get to move through my healing yet again. And so as I've been processing through this, the Father reminded me that when I became a coach 20 plus years ago, helping women move through the same season, helping them learn, learn the lessons that I had learned, I recognized that I needed to learn them again. And so I'm doing that. I'm walking through that again. And as I started talking to many of you, I realized that all that I went through wasn't just for me, that perhaps many of you need what I learned and what I'm now learning again in this new season in my life. So I started sharing with many of you, and we've had some one-on-one conversations, and I've enjoyed getting to know so many of you. But in the process, I realized that with the times being what they are, the weight and the heaviness that we're carrying, we don't even realize how wounded we are, and that we are not operating in any way close to what we need to be in order to deal with what's to come. We have to learn how to process through our emotions. Many of us, like myself, as a little girl, we learned to power through. We learned to tuck things under the rug. We learned to grin and bear it, pretend and keep moving. Many of you men were told to don't cry, be strong, don't be a punk, don't, all that stuff. All those coping mechanisms that we learned are so destructive. They keep us locked in the bondage of the pain rather than allowing the energy of whatever emotions need to come up to actually flow through us. Emotions are designed to move, their energy in motion. And when you hold on to them, it locks itself up in your body, and your body keeps score, right? And so that was my story. My neck and shoulders were up like this. I couldn't turn to the left or right to drive it. Pulled my spine out of alignment, caused 5 discs to rupture, 3 in my cervical spine, 2 in my lumbar. I was a whole hot mess. And it's because I didn't process. I didn't know how to process through my emotions. All I knew how to do was tuck it in, keep moving, move faster. Don't slow down, because if you slow down, you're going to break down. How many of you can relate to that. So what I realize is that we get to heal. And so I have put together a program that is going to be so supportive for us. It's going to allow us to actually learn what are the tools that he gave me I want to offer to you. I want to be able to create a space where we can walk through the process, not necessarily going into the depths of your pain. Let me tell you the difference between coaching and therapy. They're very, very different. They're on two different ends of the spectrum. Yeah, you can relate, right? Oh, you didn't get anything from me? Huh. Okay. Are you getting the truth bookmarks? Did you get the truth bookmarks? You might want to if you've gotten any emails from me, check, Wanda. You should have. If you haven't gotten any emails from me, go to truthbookmarks.com and get them so that you can be on the list. Anyway, where was I? So he walked me through my healing. And okay, good. So he walked me through my healing and So what I realized is that we don't process through our emotions. We tuck them in, we move beyond it, we pretend, we think we forgave somebody, but we didn't forgive, we just numbed out. We get to a point where we just harden our hearts and we become bitter. And the Father warns us, don't let yourself become bitter. Don't get stuck in unforgiveness. But if you've never been taught how to forgive, that's a process. Forgiveness is not just, oh, I forgave them and move on. No, you just hardened your heart. No, you just numbed out. No, now you're just avoiding them, but you haven't dealt with it. We don't know how. We've never been taught and we've never watched somebody model it. And so I've had so many people in my life tell me, how did you forgive them? Good. You received the email this morning, Carm? Welcome. I mean, good. I'm glad. How do you do that? How could you just forgive them? How could you let them in your space and you're not mad? Well, when you let yourself process through your emotions and you get the meat off the bone and you take the lesson from the situation and you recognize who they are and what their wounds are too, and you can see that both the wounded people are wounding each other, it changes things. It changes your heart. Your heart can actually open up again. But if you don't, your heart stays locked like mine was with that big old boat rope chain around it and a big padlock, and nothing's getting in and nothing's getting out. But when you do that, your body breaks down, right? We get to love. We get to be free from the bondage of unforgiveness. We get to be free from not understanding how to actually heal. So this is where I was. I forgot. I lost my track. So I was talking about the difference between therapy and coaching. In therapy, you dig into the pain, you dig into the roots, you understand the familial patterns, the pathology, the psychology, the patterns inside your family. And sometimes that's valuable because you can learn what you're doing that's creating the problem that you're living right now, right? You can recognize how you got the fruit from the root. And coaching is a little different. Coaching doesn't go to the past to dig it up. It looks at the fruit. It acknowledges the root, but it looks at the fruit and says, I don't like this fruit, or I'd like some better fruit. What's the fruit I want? And then what are the patterns and structures and systems I need to create in order to build that next fruit, right? How do I shift and become that thing that I've been called to be? And then the coach is there to push you into doing it and to help you stay accountable and to give you some tools and to give you some structure and to give you some resources and to give you some insights. Maybe you hadn't seen it this particular way. That's what a coach does. And that's my job. So as a coach, I thought it would be a really powerful opportunity. I hadn't offered it in this space before. I did offer you guys some one-on-ones a couple of weeks ago, and that turned out to be really powerful. But in that, I understood that there is a greater need. Many of us have not done any heart healing. Many of us have not even thought about the fact that we're carrying pain from the past and we don't know how to offload it. And we think we're just going to pour the word on top and that changes it. Sometimes it does. sometimes you got to dig into that word and apply it. You got to figure out which scriptures are going to help heal this. What's my medicine in this word that's going to help me heal this stuff? So I can actually get past feeling unloved or feeling rejected or feeling betrayed or being abused or being mistreated or overlooked or all the stuff. Because when you don't deal with that, those become what I call soft spots. And then when somebody brushes up against one of those soft spots, you don't have control and you just lash out. And you don't mean to, but that soft spot is never healed. It's still bleeding on the inside. And even though we know we can be healed, we don't walk through the process of really getting, it's like a wound. You know, when you get a wound, you hurt yourself and it bleeds, it's a cut, it bleeds. Sometimes you got to put pressure on it because you want the bleeding to stop. But then after the bleeding stops, if you don't ever take that pressure off and actually look at the wound and clean it up and put the medicine on it to heal it and put the bandage on it and let it actually get some air and heal, that wound is going to fester. It's going to pus. It's going to stink. It's going to get all kinds of infected and it's going to grow. And eventually, if you don't deal with it, that arm has to be chopped off, or you know what I mean? So we get to process. You got to open that thing up. You got to deal with it. You take the stuff out. You put the medicine on it, which is the word. You bandage it up. You let it heal. And so now when someone bumps up against it, there's a scar there. There's a testimony. But there's not a sore that's going to cause you to lash back out, right? So I've created something and I'm calling it the rise within. We get to rise from within. We get to come out of the despair. We get to come out of the unforgiveness. We get to come out of numbness. How many of you can't cry anymore? Yahuwah created us able to release. And we do that through our tears, but many of us have shut that down too. Many people are uncomfortable with tears. When I cry, some people are like, oh, don't cry, right? That's what we're taught. No, if it's coming up to be healed. Let it flow. Yes, it may make people uncomfortable. Yes, some people think you're manipulating because tears are coming out. That doesn't mean it's true. Sometimes you just have a feeling and emotion and it needs to pour out of you so you could think straight. How many of you ever feel better after you've had a good cry? That's what the Father created it for. Our bodies were designed to be self-sustaining, for us to be able to function in this life. But if we don't know how to do that, we lock it all up and it causes more problems. And so it's important right now that we do this heart healing, because we're going into a season where it's going to get real crazy out in the world. It already is getting crazy. We can see it. And we get to offload this stuff so that we can have our hearts open so that nothing is clouding us from being able to hear. Nothing, no unforgiveness, no bitterness, no resentment, no jealousy, no envy, no backbiting, all those things that we think we have overcome, but let the right person come in the conversation and you start it up again, right? Or let the person who violated you come in the room and your whole countenance changes. You shut down because that's where you want to be with them. You don't feel safe. Well, you get to be open and they can come in the room and say whatever they need to say. And you can just look at them and baruch them and pray that the demon that's in them comes out. You can stand in the power that we've been given by our Almighty Yahuwah, but without healing it, without actually processing through it, we are stuck. And we don't have to be. We get to be healed. So I want you all to go to the link in my bio. It's my link tree at the very top. It's called Ready to Rise. And I want to invite you guys to click on the link and read about it. Read about it. Read about the rise. Find out if it's something that you are moved by. If it's touching on something that you might need to consider going a little bit deeper with me. I invite you to consider it. And whether you do or not, over the next few days and weeks and months, I'm going to be sending emails for those of you who just want the high level, just the bird's eye view of heart healing, you're going to be getting that in my emails, right? I'm going to be talking about it. We're pulling back the layers. There are layers to this. There are levels to this. It's not a one-stop shop. This is a skill set that you get to learn. And then over time, you'll continue to learn it and you'll continue to be able to apply it in your life. And this is important because you get to teach this to your family. You get to teach this to your family. You get to change your family patterns because now you don't stuff it. You learn that it's okay to deal with the stuff that you feel. It's okay. Feelings are part of being human, but they're not designed to shut us down. Our beings get locked into that emotion when we don't allow it to flow, right? So when I lost my son, that was my deepest cry. Rest of my tears, I cried to Yahuwah, right? And he told us to cast our cares. But if we tucked our cares, we're not casting them. Yeah. Noel says, you really got to be locked in with Yahuwah to be able to forgive and also have empathy for other shortcomings. Only his set apart ones and only by his set apart Ruach. Hallelujah. Shirley said, you speaking the truth, my sister. We get to be free, family. You know, and truthfully, there was a part of me, oh yes, when I seen you, I cried like a baby. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. I've been wanting to cry the ugly girl crocodile way, shedding a drop here or there. Yeah. That's because we've turned off our feelings. We don't want to feel because it hurts. I told you guys I was afraid to take a bath. I know that sounds crazy. I was afraid to sit myself down in a bathtub because I knew that if I was alone in that silence all by myself, in that room, in that quiet, without nothing to do but sit there, oh my goodness, my tears are going to flow and I'm never going to be able to stop it. I'll never be able to come out of this. I thought, I was so scared. And it happened. I had a coach. I had a coach that said, sit your butt down in that tub and let yourself heal. And I did. And oh boy, did I cry. And then the next night, I had to do it again. And the next night I did it again. And I continued to cry and I continued to cry until I was done. I'm not suggesting that's what you have to do. That's what I did because of where I was. My heart healing required that. Yours might not. Yours might not. But we get to walk through it. So I want to invite you guys to the Rise Within. It's going to be a 3-day heart healing experience that will be held next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 to 2. And it's going to be powerful. For those of you who decide you want to go deeper, there's a Friday session that will allow you to bring a friend to the entire session too. And the first 10 people that decide to rise with me, you guys are going to be entered into a drawing to get your very own anthem, your own song. I'm going to sit with you for 30 minutes and we're going to pull out your story, your testimony, your talents, abilities, gifts, skills, your strengths, what you believe your calling is. And we're going to turn it into a song that's going to be your own very own soundtrack that you can listen to and that you can sing, that you can bring yourself back into remembrance of who the Most High Creator of all that is, Yahuwah, who he created you to be. Songs help the memory remember. And so I want to offer that to you. So anyway, I invite you guys to come into the Rise Within. Yeah, your mind just be wandering just everywhere. Yeah, you get to be free. You get to be free. So for those of you who are here on YouTube and TikTok, YouTube and Facebook, hang on a second. I'm going to give you guys the link. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put the link to the Rise itself in the comments for you. And you guys can go directly there. I don't think I can do it. And let me see if they'll let me put a comment. They might be mad at me. So you guys can go up to click on my face, then click on my face again. Inside my profile, there's a link tree. Click on the link tree, and the very first link inside says Ready to Rise. Click on it. Just go take a look. I'd love your feedback. And then you also we're going to get an email from me that goes into detail about it. It explains what we're going to do each day and how it's going to flow. And it's going to be a powerful experience for all of us. You're very welcome. All right. So we get to heal. We get to rise and we get to be ready for what's to come. We get to take off all the encumbrances and learn how to really cast our cares onto the Father because he cares for us. But if we cast some of them and hold the rest of them because we don't want our heart to be broken again, or cast some of them and hold on to some of them because they got tucked under the rug and we forgot all about them. But then when that person comes back into our lives, we get to heal. So I invite you all to join me in the Rise Within. It's going to be a powerful, powerful journey. All right, family. Thank you all for joining me today for Truth, a scripture study. I enjoyed today's session. We're going to come back tomorrow at 9:30. Any questions, class? Any questions? No? All right. Well, I love y'all. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you all tomorrow. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, goodness. You enjoyed it too? Good, good, good. Baruch, Baruch. See, part of me wants to hear a song. I kind of don't want to end it like this. Love you more. Baruch, Baruch. Let me see. Let's play a song. Just one. Let's hear I Carry the Light. Whoops.
I've walked through the silence.
I've walked through the silence.
I've carried the pain.
I've carried the pain.
I've weathered the pressure, the cycles of strain. But deep in my chest was the flicker of flame.
You're welcome.
A light that
Chapter 20.
the darkness could never reclaim. My mind has been battered, my peace under fire. But I shut down the noise and reconnected the wire.
That's what it's about. Reconnect the wire.
Now clarity flows like a river in me, and my soul's aligned with what I'm called to be.
You carry the light.
I carry the light, the fire, the flame, the strength of his power, the weight of his name. I carry the light, it burns through the night, a beacon of love and a witness of might. No shadow can stay where this fire ignites.
No shadow can stay where this fire ignites. Those things that are under the rug, those are shadows. Stuff that needs to be put some light on it.
My spirit was tired, disconnected and dry, but I lifted the switch and I looked to the sky. The breaker came back and the flow was restored. Now I hear his whisper like never before. I walk in his rhythm, I move in his grace. No longer performing.
No longer performing.
No longer performing.
I dwell in his place.
I dwell in his place. The current is steady, the presence is here, and I've never been more in tune than right here. I carry the light, the fire, the flame, the strength of his power, the weight of his name. I carry the light, it burns through the night, a beacon of love and a witness of might. No shadow can stay where this fire ignites.
We lighten up everything that's dark, getting rid of it all. Anything that's holding us back, anything that's been weighing us down has to go.
My body's a temple. My body's a temple. Oh, no longer ignored.
No longer ignoring my body.
I bless every muscle. Each breath is
restored.
It's restored. The pain had a purpose.
Pain had a purpose, but it's not who I am. arise in his healing, reborn in his plan.
Time tried to chase me, delay held me down, but I found sacred rhythm.
Gotta take that word out. Shoot.
Now I walk in alignment, no rush, no race, just perfect instruction and unshakable pace. My purpose was buried in fear and regret.
Sorry, family. My purpose was buried in fear and regret. Purge every portal, revoke what was wrong. Oh, sorry. That was the version that I didn't put the ending on. I'm excited. I'm glad you all are here. Thank you again for joining me. I'm Queenie Brown. You guys, for those of you who did get your emails, make sure you respond. Reply to me. Let me know what your thoughts are. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to continue with chapter 20. I'm glad you like it, D. Whitehead. Thank you so much. Baruch to all of you. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.